Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/Am I Wrong, where we see an example of how you should deal with a cheating wife. Let's begin. Am I wrong for going no contact with my wife after finding her online dating profiles? Posted by Reddit user 1rule6460.
Sorry for the wall of text. This all has been in the last 2 weeks. Me and my wife have been in a long-distance marriage due to her work for the last 1.5 years. We have 2 kids, 7 years and 4 years, who live with me. My work and the kids' school situation did not allow for us to relocate with her. We see each other on average every 2.5 months and initially talked every day, video chatted with the kids. Our main goal was to build up our savings, as we also look for better paying work in the same city and for her to build enough experience for her resume, as she had been out of work since we started having kids. The job opportunity was very good for that. Unfortunately, with each visit, her behavior had been setting my alarm bells ringing, and this month I discovered her dating profiles when she visited. This visit was particularly shocking for me because for the first time in our 9-year marriage, she did not want to be anywhere near me, was extremely paranoid and protective of her phone, avoided any time to talk serious matters or participate in any activities with the kids. She seemed distant and off, to the point that the kids noticed. Earlier in the year I had caught her in an emotional affair, and on confrontation I gave her the choice to go or stay. I wanted to work things out, start on a clean slate, but I would be willing to let go amicably because of the kids. She chose to stay, and that was to have been the end of that. I did some digging and got her phone when she was asleep and discovered that she was not only flirting with multiple men, but talking with her friends about incidences and encounters, which she regrets and needs to move past from, as well as confessing that she is not putting effort into our marriage. The dating profiles are what set me off. I immediately screenshotted and sent to myself as much as I could in the short time I had the phone, and played it cool till I dropped her off at the airport. When she was airborne, I sent her a WhatsApp with the screenshots telling her I knew and wishing her good luck in her new life. I sent the same to her siblings and close mutual friends, and proceeded to block all but a few. I asked them to tell her older sister I will provide them with access to the children as required, but to consider me out of their lives. Christmas is now upon us. The kids have not even noticed any change. They had kind of moved on that their mum was not around. And I am going through the motions, wondering if I overreacted, or if I was a bad husband, or if I was wrong for just ghosting after all this. I am still so angry, feeling betrayal, and cannot even stomach a conversation with her. Yet I have had her in my life since I was in my early 20s. Am I wrong?
No, OP, I don't think what you did is wrong at all. Actually, what you did was the best way to go about it, in my opinion. You communicated that the marriage is over, providing proof of her infidelity, and you left an avenue open so that she can continue having a relationship with your children. I don't think you owe her any more than that. Look, man, you should start the divorce process soon and demand child support. Good luck. And now for today's second story. I broke my neighbor's roof. I reached an agreement with the owner, but the tenant wants me to pay to him instead. Posted by Reddit user WTHWME.
Okay, I don't know if this would be the right subreddit, but here we go. Yesterday, I was going to my grandparents' house for Christmas, and when I closed the door, I realized I had left my keys inside my house. My grandpa went to my brother's job and asked him for his keys, but he had taken the keys that didn't work at all. So I couldn't get into my house, and the keys that worked perfectly were inside and the other ones were with me. I had no better idea than to climb onto my neighbor's roof and try to open my window. We live on the 2nd floor. I did it, but the obvious thing happened. I stepped on a tile and the tile didn't resist my weight. It went down with me.
Good Lord, how is he so fat?
Somehow, I managed to get out of the house through the same hole I made in the roof and went back to the ground. A neighbor told me that another neighbor, let's call her Maria, knew the house owner. So, I went to Maria's house and told her what happened. She gave me the owner's number. I'll call the owner Britt. But Britt didn't answer our calls, and the person who lives in the house arrived. I went and told him what happened, apologized, and said I would pay for the tile I broke. Let's call him Matt. He was obviously angry about it and started yelling at me. I told him we were trying to contact the owner, but Matt said that I had to give the money to him. I told him no, I was going to give the money, yes, but I'm going to give it to the owner. Britt finally arrived, and Maria and I told her what happened. Obviously, Britt was mad, but she was more relaxed than Matt. My grandpa arrived at that moment. I told him what was happening and he started talking with Brit. I had already said I was going to pay, so she was more calm. She told me I was an idiot for doing that and obviously, I agreed. Then my grandfather and Brit exchanged information, and they were going to see exactly how bad the damage I did was. Brit and my grandfather were inside the house, but Matt didn't allow them to go in. He almost hit my grandpa. I'm very thankful I didn't see that because I would have gone crazy if Matt had touched my grandfather. So Brit couldn't see the damage, and Matt didn't even want her to give him some tiles while we bought new ones. So yes, even 24 hours later, his roof is broken and without a temporary replacement. Anyway, my grandfather and Brit reached an agreement that I am going to pay for the new tiles, and everything is settled. But that has to wait because, well, it happened on Christmas and tomorrow was a holiday, and it was very difficult for someone to open a place to buy them. Then Brit tried to talk to Matt and tell him that, meanwhile the new tiles arrived, she could give him some of hers, but he didn't accept.
Honestly speaking, OP, I think Matt is just trying to make this into a payday. Also, your neighbor Brit, she needs to set an ultimatum for Matt. Either he lets her fix the roof with her spare tiles, or he will become responsible for any follow-up damage. If it rains, for example. Just make sure everything is all in writing, since Matt sounds like a lovely person to deal with. And now for today's final story. I think my husband is sleeping with the babysitter. Posted by Reddit user Puzzled Cut.
I'm still trying to process this in my mind while typing this out. Husband and I have been together for 6 years and married for 4. We have 2 children, a 2-year-old and 4-year-old. Both of us work full-time. I'm a realtor and husband owns his own business. We've had a number of different nanas in the past. Sometimes our parents end up watching the kids. About 8 months ago my husband told me that one of his friend's daughter, we'll call her Ella, was looking for a part-time job during college. We live in a small college town so her commute wouldn't be far. We tried her out one night and it went smoothly. She's always been nice to me and the kids love her. My suspicion started last month when I came home early to find my husband had been home. Ella was also at the house babysitting. I asked my husband why he didn't send her home if he was home. His response was, she's just trying to make a little money and that the kids were having fun. Then 2 weeks ago I drove by my husband's office on the way to a meeting and her car was parked there. I asked my husband later about what Ella was doing at the office. He said that she probably stopped by to see her dad. Now when I come home, Ella is always dressed up more with makeup done and heels on. 2 days ago, I found strands of blonde hair in the back seat of my husband's truck. I have blonde hair, but this was closer to Ella's shade. Also, I don't think my husband would do anything in the back seat since he's 6'6" and 240 pounds. Last night I found the opportunity to check my husband's phone while he was with the kids. I didn't find any romantic texts between them, but I could definitely tell that text messages had been deleted. If you read the conversation, it didn't make sense because it was obviously missing the middle part. I talked to my friend this morning, and she pointed out that my husband has a type, blonde women. Ella falls perfectly in that category. Should I confront him right now, or should I wait to find something more concrete? Update 1. Nanny is currently at the house right now. Tracked husband using Find My iPhone, and he's also headed home, 30-minute drive. They both think I'll be working until 7 p.m. today. I'm going to walk into the house 15 minutes after my husband gets home unannounced. Not sure what the plan is if I catch them. I unfortunately don't have access to his phone logs since his phone plan is through his business. We have cameras on the outside of the house. We have a baby monitor near the kid's bed. I'm not ready to fire her unless I get solid evidence of my husband cheating. I need to know if my husband is having any sort of romantic relationship with her first. Update 2. I wasn't able to get the concrete evidence I was looking for but some more circumstantial evidence. Tracked husband through Find My iPhone. He stopped on his way home at the grocery store for 10 minutes. I decided to park and wait on a side street. That way I could see when my husband would get home. My husband got home at 5:30 p.m. Ella was scheduled to work until 6 p.m. We have a long gravel driveway that leads to our house. I decided to park near the barn so I wouldn't be heard pulling up to the house. Walked in the front door and found Ella feeding my 4-year-old. She was also preparing dinner in the kitchen. Today she had on a tight top, skirt, and platform heels. I asked if she knew where my husband was. She replied he was upstairs taking a shower. She then immediately went over to the living room to pick up her phone and send a text message to someone. Also in the living room were a fresh bouquet of flowers. I asked her about the flowers, and she said a guy she's been seeing gave them to her today. She said she didn't want to leave them in the car, so she brought them inside. I asked her about the guy that she was seeing. She said he was from school and wasn't sure if it was going anywhere. I went upstairs to see if my husband left his phone in the bedroom. He left his phone on the dresser. Sure enough, the newest text message was from Ella that read, "Your wife is home." I tried looking up the deleted messages on his phone, but they had been permanently deleted. I decided to wait in our bedroom for my husband to come out of the shower. He comes out and is surprised to see me in the bedroom. I told him my 6:30 showing got canceled. I tried to initiate sex to see how he would react. He said he didn't feel comfortable doing it while Ella was in the house. At this point, Ella was upstairs in my younger son's room, which shares a wall with our room. Ella leaves the house at 6 p.m. with the flowers. After dinner, my husband mentioned to me about buying Ella a new car for Christmas, and his reasoning was that her car was old and not safe for our kids to ride in. I told him that I would think about it. I'm thinking about firing her on Monday without telling my husband, and see how they both react. I'm still trying to process everything going on. I'm still hoping all of this is just me overthinking. I really love my husband, and I can't stand the thought of our beautiful family splitting up. Thanks for all the advice. And now, for OP's full update. I would like to thank everyone for their support and ideas on how to deal with this situation. Yesterday morning I met up with Ella and told her that we wouldn't be needing her services anymore due to my little sister being available to watch the kids, which is true. She quietly said that she understood and said to let her know if I would change my mind. My husband called me 5 minutes later sounding very upset about Ella being fired. I think Ella told him, but he claimed her dad told him that we fired her. I told him that was my final decision and there was no changing it. He came home 20 minutes later and asked me why I didn't talk to him first about firing her. I told him about everything I've noticed between them, from the text to the clothing attire she wears. He denied everything and said it was all in my head. I told him if you want this marriage not to end in a divorce, he had to cut all contact with Ella. After 1 hour of arguing, he finally agreed to not contact her anymore. I honestly don't have the mental energy to deal with a divorce, split my kids, date again. I don't want to be the single mom who is always busy and unhappy. I told him to never bring her up again. I don't know 100% if they had an affair, but I think it's better for my health not to find out. I think I'm going to quit my job and raise my kids, work on my marriage. I'm not sure if this was all because I've been working a lot of hours and have been distant from my husband. Thanks again for all the support. One more thing, men, stop messaging me pictures of your private parts on Reddit.
OP, being a stay-at-home mother for a period of time would be your smartest move for now. And don't worry, it does not make you unhireable. Employers are much more understanding of a gap in employment due to raising young children. It certainly keeps your career from progressing, sure, but it does not make you unhireable. Focus on your children first. Your husband is rich anyways, so you will not suffer financially. Also, don't forget to demand an open phone policy. And if you ever find solid evidence of any affair, drain him dry in the divorce. Good luck, man. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.